Have you ever finished a long day of work just staring at a screen and felt that your brain was just completely fried? That mental fog is a real thing. Well, this explainer is for you. We are diving deep into an ancient practice that yogic texts say is the ultimate fix for that modern mental fatigue. First things first, let's kind of reset how we think about exercise. We often think a good workout is supposed to leave us exhausted, right? And sure, some do. But yoga asanas, they're playing a totally different game. They're designed not to drain you, but to actually fill you back up, leaving you alert and rejuvenated. It's a pretty major shift in thinking. And in the entire kingdom of asanas, one pose wears the crown. Yogic scriptures call it asana karaja, which literally means the king of asanas. We're talking about Shirsana, or as most of us know it, the headstand. So what gives it such a royal title? Let's get into it. Now, what's really interesting is that the source singles out a specific group of people who benefit most from this. They're called the Buddhijivi, which translates to intellectual workers. So think creators, coders, writers, strategists, basically anyone who uses their brain as their main tool. If that sounds like you, this practice is aimed right at your sweet spot. And the author of our source material, Smriti Gangadevi Asthana, doesn't just suggest this, she makes a really bold claim based on her own deep experience. She says that for anyone doing that kind of intense mental work, Shirshasana isn't just another good option. It is the single best, most supreme asana you can do. That's a heck of an endorsement. Okay, but before anyone gets excited and tries to flip upside down, we have to hit pause for a crucial safety warning. The king of asanas demands respect. It is incredibly powerful, which also means it's not for everybody. So it's absolutely vital to know who should steer clear. The author is super clear on this. She gives some very specific guidelines. If you are under 20 years old, if you're pregnant, or if you are currently menstruating, this pose is not for you. In these situations, it could do more harm than good, and really, safety has to be number one. All right, now that we've covered the very important cautions, let's get into the Sahividi, the correct way to do it. How do you actually approach the king of asanas safely? I know it can look intimidating, but the source gives us a really clear, step-by-step roadmap. Here are the absolute fundamentals for getting started. First, a soft surface, like a folded blanket or a mat, is non-negotiable. Then you're going to interlock your fingers to make a little cradle for the back of your head. And notice that, the back, not the very top. And maybe most important for beginners, please don't be a hero. Use a wall or a friend for support. It takes away the fear of falling, so you can just focus on your form. And this right here, this is the golden rule. You have to protect your neck. It needs to be perfectly straight, no tilting, no jerky movements. All the weight should really be on your forearms, with your head just lightly touching down for balance. This is absolutely key for a safe practice. So, how long do you have to hold this powerful pose when you're just starting out? You might be thinking a few minutes, right? Nope, just 15 seconds. That's it. It's not about endurance at the beginning. It's all about building a safe and stable foundation. And from that 15-second start, the name of the game is gradual progress. You just add 2 or 3 little seconds to your hold time each day. This slow and steady approach is what builds real strength and confidence without pushing your body too far, too fast. Consistency really is everything here. So where can this all lead? Well, after about a year or 2 of practicing consistently, the source lays out some pretty mind-blowing goals. Women holding the pose for 15 to 20 minutes, and men for up to 30. That just shows you the incredible stamina you can build over time. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the how, but why? Why is being upside down so amazing for your brain? Well, the answer is in the Ultahonikavagyan, the science of inversion, and it's actually based on a really simple but profound idea. It all comes down to good old gravity. Throughout the day, our blood naturally flows down towards our feet. So when you flip your body over in a headstand, you're basically reversing that flow. You're sending a rich, fresh supply of blood packed with oxygen and nutrients straight to your brain. The author gives us this beautiful way to picture it. Think of a houseplant that's looking a little dry and droopy. The second you give it a good drink of water, it perks right up, right? The idea here is that our brain cells do the exact same thing when they get this rush of fresh blood. They're just refreshed. And what happens when your brain gets that kind of VIP treatment? You get an awakening of your mental abilities. The text claims this single practice strengthens your mind, boosts your memory, fires up your imagination, and sharpens your logic. It's basically a power-up for your personal supercomputer. But this isn't just theory. The author backs all of this up with the most powerful kind of proof there is, her own personal transformative story. She doesn't just talk the talk, she shares her own experience as living proof of this asana's power. At the time she was writing this, she had been practicing Shirshasana every single morning without fail for 7 years. Talk about dedication. That is a serious long-term commitment. She also tells us how old she was, 45. Now, that piece of context is really important because it makes the benefits she's about to describe even more amazing. And here it is, the heart of her testimony, in her own simple, powerful words. I have regained my lost health through this. She directly credits her return to feeling healthy and whole to this one daily practice. And on top of that general feeling of wellness, she lists some very specific, really tangible results. At 45 years old, she notes that her hair had stayed black. And get this, a severe gum disease that had been plaguing her was completely cured. I mean, those are some pretty incredible side effects. So in the end, we're left with this powerful story and all this ancient wisdom, pointing to the king of asanas, a practice that's literally designed to nourish the most important organ we have for navigating our modern world. So the only real question left is the one you see right here. When will your brain get its rejuvenation?